What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And this is a full Week 1 NFL recap, baby. Week 1, right? Week 1, couldn't wait. We waited a long 4 or 5 months for this to come. Even longer. So excited. Football's back, and it was a great Week 1, man. It was great. Um, you know, it kicked off with the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Tampa Bay to play the reigning, defending Super Bowl champs. It was a great game. It was a treat for an opener. It was a Thursday night prime time treat in Tampa Bay, baby. It was a treat. You had the Cowboys and the Bucks going back and forth. Um, Dak had a pretty darn good game. I think he threw a little too much, but they didn't have really any running room to run the ball, even though Zeke has to grow up, man. Every year Zeke has declined, and everyone knows that Zeke has to figure something out. Really does. Next week, I want to see him do something. I need to see him. Come on, come on, Zeke, come on. You're paid how much money a year? You were drafted this high. You got your new contract. Step it up. Step it up, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. The season started. Um, Wide receivers great. It was just a really fun game. Defenses play great. 31-29, not great defense, but it was a fun matchup nonetheless. They did what they needed to do. And how do you think this game ended? If I told you that Tom Brady got the ball with a minute and a half left, maybe, drives on the field, scores a game-winning touchdown, that surprise you? Would you believe it? Yeah. Would it surprise you? No. That's a typical Tom Brady game. Um, and then the Seahawks at the Colts. Colts did not look good, man. Colts did not look good at all. Um, had a really good first half. No, it didn't really have a good game at all. The defense did have a good second half. The offense had a good first half. This Colts team has got to learn to put games together. Last year the same stuff happened, and if you do this stuff, and we've seen it versus the Seahawks and Russell Wilson, this is firsthand stuff. If we're going to be inconsistent, if we're going to play great defense in the second half and great offense in the first half, crappy defense in the first half, and then crappy offense in the second, we've seen what happens versus great quarterbacks, versus great teams, versus great, well-coached teams. They play great all 4 quarters. If you let down your guard for a whole half on defense versus Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna put up 35 points in a half. If you let your guard down versus any of these elite top quarterbacks or heck, a really well coached team, they're gonna lay it on you. They're gonna lay it on you. They're not gonna take it easy. You know, this Colts team has gotta grow up. Colts team gotta grow up. They gotta find some consistency in something. Once did look pretty good in the opener. Pascal looked like a really good target for him. Um, we just gotta see what the future holds for the Colts. So Colts, not a good outing. Not a good outing whatsoever. Even though Carson Wentz was promising, he showed a lot of promise, but the offensive line also has to get something figured out. Boy, they better get Eric Fisher back soon. All right. Then we go to the third game we're going to talk about here, the Jaguars at the Texans. Ooh, how many people picked the Texans? Be honest with me. I was one of them. I was one of them to pick the Texans, and this is why. I picked the Texans because this Jaguars team is very young. They're very new. Even the coaching staff is very new to the game. And the Texans have a lot of veterans, you know. And if you have a team that's very new coach, new quarterback, even though generational talent, you have all these new players, it's gonna be tough. You know, there's gonna be stuff to learn. And when you're playing a team full of vets, it's going to be difficult because the vets know a lot more. The vets are smart. Um, so yeah, it was a good game. It was a fun game to watch. Many thought the Jaguars were going to win, but it was a decent game. It was okay. Um, in the Chargers and Washington game, I think many people had Washington win this one. From who I've watched, the Go House, I've seen a lot of people pick Washington. I was one of them because what everyone was saying. The Chargers' new offensive line was gonna struggle, like all of us thought. It did okay. That Washington front is really darn good, as we know. It was a nice defensive battle. It was nice to see the Chargers defense do well. It was nice to see their offense do well. Herbert did fairly well. It was a pretty good game for the Chargers. So that was a fun game. Fitz is hurt for like 8 weeks, I think. So Tyler Heineke, step up, man. This is your chance. This is your chance to shine. Okay. Eagles at Falcons. So this game, man, this game. I think quite a few people had the Falcons. Some people had the Eagles. I took the Eagles in this one. Um, I took the Eagles because I really think the Eagles are better than people believe, better than people think. If you go and look at the roster, if you go and look at what they have, you'll see their defensive line is one of the best in the league with the rotation as well. Their running backs are really darn good. Their quarterback, it's all on Hurts. If plays pretty well, this Eagles team is going to be pretty good. As long as the offensive line stays healthy, you have Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, Devontae Smith, Jalen Rager, Travis Fulgham. I don't know if they brought Travis Fulgham back, but I know Dallas Goedert is there. Good team, man. I honestly think this is a decent team that is sneaky. The Eagles are a very sneaky team, so watch out for the Eagles in the upcoming games. But the Falcons, man, let's move on. um, no, and then we have the Steelers at the Bills. This was a pretty darn good game as well. Steelers. I picked the Steelers for the upset. I did pick some upsets this week. Let me know who else actually picked the Steelers with me. So the reason why I picked the Steelers, right? I picked the Steelers because the Bills team, how do I put it? They're a good team, right? They have a solid team, solid defense, solid offense. They got what you need to make a deep playoff run. But a successful deep playoff run, no, I do not believe so. I think their defense is solid for the Bills. I think it's okay. Their run defense was not very good last year. People thought it was better, and the averages were low, because other teams didn't run much. The Bills got up quick. The Bills scored fast, so the teams couldn't really run. But when they did, they ran pretty darn well on the Bills. So that's something to keep in mind. You got to be able to stop the run, and then that brings you to the next thing. They got to be able to run, which struggled. Their offense line is it's okay, nothing crazy, but it gets the job done. But as we've seen the Steelers, if they play a physical team that can stop the run, that can make them one-dimensional, Josh Allen didn't look very good. But the Steelers defense makes a lot of people look pretty bad. So that's a props there. But Josh Allen has got to play much better against these defenses. He's going to see many more. Patriots defense is very good. Dolphins defense is very good. They're gonna have to be able to beat good defenses. So they're gonna have to get better with that. Josh Allen is gonna have to get better with that. So Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, and the running backs really have to figure something out. Otherwise, this team is gonna be in deep hole this year. Come playoff time. Yeah, they're probably gonna make the playoffs, but they need to figure some stuff out, as every team does. And then you have the Niners at the Lions. Man, what an interesting game. The Niners look like they're just killing them, right? And then you come back and you look at this game. What 5 minutes later? You come back 5 minutes later, and the Lions are score at what, like 20 some points in the last 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah, very kind of concerning for the Niners. Um, But it is what it is. The Niners win. They scored a lot. They did pretty well. I guess we'll just see what they do next week. You know, this was very interesting. Then you have the Vikings and the Bengals. I got this one wrong. I picked the Vikings because I thought both defenses are very similar in my opinion. But I thought that the Vikings have had a much better offense, and I still think they do. I think they're more dynamic. They have one of the best running backs in the game. They have two really darn good receivers in the game. One is a touchdown machine. One is a yard machine. They're both machines in both categories. Come on now. Then you have um who else? Who else? Who else? Kirk is underrated. Kirk is hated on too much. The offensive line definitely did not look good, but it'll get better over time. I think it'll get better. So I wouldn't be too worried there, but it is what it is. Bengals take this one in a thriller week one, really close game. Then you have the Jets who traveled to Carolina to play the Panthers. This was a this was actually a fun game as well. You know, the Jets, the Panthers, what is it? Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold against his former team, and they actually connected on a pretty nice play. They connected a few times. Darnold looked decent, but I want to see more. I want to see him continue to build. That's what I need to see before I believe Sam Darnold can be the guy in Carolina. Because even when Carolina traded for him, not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan. I was never really a huge fan of Sam Darnold to start with. So I guess we'll see where they go. Jets looked okay. Wilson looked okay. Um, Panthers, like I said, they looked decent. I think they looked fine. Yeah, I got this one right. Let me know what you guys got. Cardinals at Titans. This was a shocker. I know Derrick Henry did not have a good game. Derrick Henry kind of sucked, to say the least. 17 carries for 58 yards, 3.4 yards per carry. That is very unlike Derrick Henry, to say the least. What else? What else? What else? Ryan Tannehill threw one touchdown and one interception. Chester Rogers was their leading receiver in yards. Four receptions for 62 yards. Four receptions for 62 yards, former Colt. And AJ Brown, who had a decent game, four receptions, 49 yards, one touchdown. And Julio, three receptions, 29 yards. You know, you can definitely see that Julio and Ryan Tannehill are not on the same page yet. It's not that they're not on the same page. They just have to learn each other like more. They'll get used to each other. So yeah, we definitely need to see more from this Titans team. You know, they had a lot of hype. Julio, AJ, Henry, Tannehill, even their tackle Lawan is back. So they really got to figure something out over there in Tennessee. Nonetheless, Cardinals looked really darn good. Kyler Murray looked really darn good, but we got to see Kyler Murray put it together. We got to see him stay consistent because last year he had a really strong start as well. So I guess we'll see where the Cardinals and the Titans go from here. And then you have the Browns and the Chiefs game. We all knew this game was going to be a great game. Now the Chiefs didn't take the lead until late in the game. They didn't really, they weren't really leading at all until the end of the game, where it's the most important, where you need to be leading when the clocks hit triple zeros and that in fourth quarter. That's when it matters most, and that's when the Chiefs pulled it out. But the Browns looked pretty good. Baker looked good. Defense, But when you're playing the Chiefs, what are you really gonna do? Myles Garrett looked good, of course. As a Ward, good, good corner. Mahomes was Mahomes. It was a really fun game to watch. It was a really good game. And then you have the Dolphins at the Patriots. I picked the Patriots to win this one at home. So, kind of sucks. They only lost by 1 point, but I watched this game. Tua looked okay at times, but Tua's really got to get some things figured out as well. Um, Obviously, a really good defensive game, 17-16. 17-13, I would have gotten the score prediction correct. 17-13 switch, Patriots 17, Dolphins 13, would have gotten the score prediction right. But it's whatever. But a really fun game. I really like defensive games because the tension is there when the next team is going to make the play. Mac Jones looked decent. Definitely got some work to do, but it's nice to see him play. A really good defense to welcome him in, so we have something to build upon and learn on. So yeah, the Dolphins take this in week one. Patriots and Dolphins both looked really good, but you also want to see more from both quarterbacks. Then we have the Broncos and the Giants. I picked the Broncos in this one. The Giants, man, not looking good. Not looking good. Um, Offensive line isn't it. Daniel Jones still not looking very good. Saquon Barkley still hurt. Defense, how much could they really do when this game is when the offense is really struggling that much? It was just something else. But Teddy Bridgewater had a pretty darn good game. I know Hamler had a few good catches. Sutton played. I think who's the receiver they have? Is it Jerry Jeudy? I think he went down with the injury. I'm not sure what kind of injury it was, but I'll have to check it out later and I'll get back with you guys. But um, goodness, my goodness, the Giants have to get something figured out. Broncos good week one. Packers at the Saints. So this was unexpected, right? Right? Who thought that the Saints were going to beat the Packers 38-3 with Aaron Rodgers getting benched for Jordan Love towards the end of the game? Ouch. Ouch. Is Rodgers doing something on purpose? Did he come back to make this Packers team look like complete shit? Complete crap? Was that what all that was about? And then he comes back and he does this. It's week one. It's week one. Crazy stuff happens in week one. So remember that. Then you have the Bears at Los at Los Angeles. Bears definitely have some chances to go down and score, but Dalton scored. Dalton threw the pick in the end zone. I think it was a deflected pick. I think it was a tip pick. So it's whatever. But the Bears definitely have some chances that they kind of fell short on. But nonetheless, I picked the Bears for this one for the upset because the Rams with Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, the first real game that Stafford had with his games that Stafford had with McVay. So I figured maybe they'd be a little off target. Maybe they'd be not off target, more like not in sync all the way. But they were, and the Rams proved me wrong. And the Rams had a really darn good game. Good crap, Rams. Good stuff. And then last but not least, we have the Ravens at the Raiders for an amazing Monday night football treat. This was an amazing game. To say the least, this game was amazing. Them going back and forth. It was a close game, mainly all game. The Raiders with a little comeback at the end. When everyone thought the game was over, when Brian Edwards scored in quotations, and then the Ravens fumbled multiple times. This was a really good game. And the Raiders looked really good, but we will have to see if the Raiders can keep it up. The Raiders defense did a lot better than I expected. I thought Lamar and stuff was gonna run all over them, but Lamar looked average. He looked average. Honestly, he looked average. He lost two fumbles, um, missed some throws through behind some receivers. Lamar's got to get something figured out. I get that there's injuries. Lamar, you want that big contract? Show that you can put this team on your back and lead them to a victory in Monday night on a primetime game. Do it. You have to. You want the money? You're gonna have to do it. You have to walk the walk before you talk the talk. He doesn't really talk. He shuts up and he does his thing. But still, he wants a big contract extension. He wants a Mahomes extension. Well, you better put the team on your back and you better lead this team to playoffs even with all these injuries. Yeah, it's tough, but you're the leader. You're the captain. You're the quarterback. That's what you're expected to do nowadays. So, that's what I got for you guys. Week one recap. It was a really fun week one. It really was. There were multiple games that went down how a lot of us thought. The Rams, um, Packers and Saints, no. But the Chiefs and Browns, yeah. Panthers, Jets, yeah. Vikings, Bengals, yeah. Similar. Chargers, Washington, yeah. Yeah, some games are really darn good. 49ers and Lions, that was interesting. The Eagles blew out the Falcons, the Buccaneers, and dang, the Cowboys looked really good. Texans with the upset. Steelers with the upset. Cardinals with the crazy dominating the Titans. It was a really good week. It was a really fun week, man. And you know what? Week 2 starts soon. So let me know what you guys think about week 1. Give me your top takeaways. Give me your top 5 or whatever. What surprised you the most? What didn't surprise you? Let me know what you guys thought about week 1. Who do you think is for real? Who do you think is fake? Week 1, you can't really take much from week 1. Honestly, you can't. Um, we have to see how players do with consistency. We got to see how they do throughout the season. Teams figuring out other teams, players figuring out players, coaches figuring out coaches. Chess game. It's a big old chess game. So let me know what you guys think. I thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan is welcome. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.